All right, we're here with musician and artist and all-around talented guy,
Thank you, sir.
Kris Allen.
Thank you.
This is interview number 4 with us.
So, have you done?
I've done one for
each
every
record?
album, yeah. I mean, you can't release an album without talking to me. It's kind
I
of
know.
like a prerequisite for having one.
I know. They're always like, because you always send the email,
Yeah.
and then they always send it to me. Do you know this guy? I'm like, yes, I know this guy. He's okay.
Mostly okay.
Mostly okay.
So, your 4th album, man. How's
Yeah.
that feel?
It in a way makes me feel old, but it feels good too. Feels good to be making new music and kind of on that. And I feel like this one came out not too long after the last one. I think it was like a year and a half. So that's a good. I feel like that's a good time frame, you know. So it feels good. It feels really good.
Now, every time I interview, I tell you that your music is phenomenal, and every time you release a better album, I just don't. It's.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
So, Letting You In is the title of your newest album.
Yeah.
And Waves is the first single
First
off
single.
of it.
Yeah.
Well, what went into that decision to have that one song be the lead off? Because they're all fantastic.
Thank you. A couple different things. I think it was the first one it was definitely the first song I wrote for the record.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it helped to, I think it catapulted the other songs a little bit. So, and I felt like it was a good introduction to the new record as well.
Mm-hmm.
And also just, the message of it, the way it sounds, there's a lot of people that go into these sorts of things too.
Yeah.
Like, we sent the record around, and I think that was I don't think it was super overwhelming or anything, but it was the one that came out on top. Like, we should try to make this the first single.
And now, do you have your second one lined up to release?
In my head, I do.
You do.
But I think we'll probably, because Waves is actually doing really well. We're doing the radio thing, and that's going awesome. So as far as that goes, like, I think we'll work this one for a little bit, because we've seen some traction with it, which is good.
Well, any of those 10 songs could be on the radio. They're all phenomenal.
Thank you.
I know I'm always complimentary, but you really do outdo yourself on every album.
Thanks, man.
Was your creative process any different for this one?
It was. I think I've tried to, for the most part, I feel like when I write songs, I write them on guitar first, or write melodies first. And for the most part, I tried to have a lyrical concept before I went to the melody, which in a way it kind of made the songs come out easier. It's the way that I think about it. It's easier to find a melody for words than it is to find words for a melody. And that's been, I think that was a good process, a learning process, because I had never done that before.
You also released an acoustic version of some of your music just recently.
I did, yeah.
Do you enjoy the acoustic stuff? I know personally I love the way you sound acoustic.
Thanks, man. I think it's a big part of what I do, and I think it's where I started, and that's how all the songs start anyways, is me, like, when I write the song, I don't write it on the computer or anything. Like, it's just me and the guitar usually.
Mm-hmm.
Actually always. And so doing that little acoustic thing was something that was really exciting.
Very cool. And what's one of your favorite songs off the album? I know it's hard to pick a baby, but
Yeah. I think, it changes always, but for some reason Faster Shoes is always the go-to for me. I don't know, like, if I'm listening to it, which I don't anymore because I listened to it so much when I was making it. I think that is the one that I gravitate towards, just as far as sonically and the way it turned out. I'm proud of all of it, but that's the one that I really go to.
The thing I like about you is a lot of artists like to reinvent themselves every album. You just consistently get better. You don't need to reinvent yourself. You know what your genre is, and you
Yeah.
really do well in that.
Thank you.
what are some of the things that stick out for you now on this tour? I know, you're going to be a dad for the second time around soon. Is that weighing heavily on you? Hoping you get through the tour? Or?
It's fun being on the road. I really enjoy it. Not with like great friends, and it's dude time, and we find great places to eat, and it's you're on an adventure together. It's so much fun. But when and a lot of us have kids now. It gets a little tougher, and especially since my son's almost 3. It has. I feel like he realizes it now that I'm gone.
Yeah. That's gotta be tough. A little tougher.
Before when I would leave and he's just a little worm.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like as big of a deal. Obviously, it's like more work for my wife, but
right.
But when he started to realize like, hey, you're gone. Where are you, Daddy? He's like, what are you doing, Daddy? I'm like, buddy, I'm working. He goes, okay, Daddy. It makes it a little tougher, but the way that we're doing tours right now is like, this is the last show of this little run. I'll go home for like a week and a half, and then we'll start again. And there's enough breaks to where I can go home and see them for a little bit.
And are you doing a bus on this tour, or have you been able to fly?
No, we're not flying, but we are on like a fan bus type of thing. It's too much. Flying is fine, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense to do that, and it takes it out of you. Flying sucks the life out of you.
Yeah.
It takes like all the good things that are in your body, and it's just like, no, you don't have those anymore.
Well, I can't imagine it would be good for you to be flying and catching all those germs when you gotta be out there performing.
Yeah, not that the bus is the cleanest thing in the world, but at least it's contained.
Planes are like germ boxes, right?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I'm sure fan reaction to the new album has been, phenomenal. What are some of the things that you're really embracing that you're hearing?
I think that I think they hear me in it more, which I hope to do every record. I hope every record I do that much more of myself in there. I think that I think the fans are excited I think there's an overall excitement about it. There's just this overall, like, we feel like Kris really nailed it with this record, which you never know. You make a record and you're like, all right, well, this is good, and then you put it out and thank God the fans validate you. But this is, I think they're excited to see other people hear the music, because I think that's what's happening right now.
When you were making this new album, did you feel that you had matured any in your? Other than you sounding like awesome every album, like I feel like your lyrics seem to get a little bit deeper each album. I feel like this is a really deep album.
Thank you. I do feel like I'm matured. I feel like the way that I go about songwriting is a different thing now. It is not like this outward look on things. It's crazy. It's more of this inward, which it should be. Because I think when I first started making music, it was this, I want to please everyone. But you can't please everybody. No. Like, the only person that I have to please is myself when I'm making music. And in turn, when you do that, I think people hear it, and they hear like the heart, and they hear like the realness in it, and even the like specific things they go, that you can kind of paint that picture, and when you do, they can put themselves in that, and it in a way even more relates to them. And that is something that I feel like I've had to let go of, and then on this record I think really helped the songwriting.
Did you find anything more challenging this time, or did things flow a little bit more naturally because of the life experiences that you've had since your last album?
There were times of challenges. I think I went through like a weird writer's block at one point. I think I had written like 50 songs for the record, and I was like, I think I only liked 2 or 3 of them, and I think I was trying to play the numbers game a little bit, like, oh, if I write a bunch of songs, and then 10 of them have to be good.
Right.
But that wasn't really working, and so I went through that a little bit, and I was I was kind of bummed out about it. I was like, man, I really put a lot of pressure on myself on this record, in a good way. Like I want to put pressure on myself, but it also, I think, stifled me a little bit. And so I went through some of that through the end of last year, and then finally just had to. I wrote myself out of it. Is what I did. I just kept on writing songs.
And now you said you wrote so many songs. Do you keep any of those for future record, or once you write something, do you just kind of like say, oh, well, let's start from scratch and start the creative process all over again?
I do think that I always try to start from scratch, but I do think that there will be songs that I didn't put on this record that will end up somewhere. And I think I'll record them. I don't know if it'll be like full-out production type of thing, but it could be, almost like an in the meantime EP or something like that. Waiting for the next one.
Right.
Because I think there are some good songs in there.
Well, that's what I think is so great about you as an artist. You're constantly putting out music, and even if it isn't a full, you're keeping your fans in the loop with everything, and it's so great.
Yeah, I mean, especially these days, like fans are always pining for more and more and more. I think I put out this record, and someone was like, when are you gonna put out your next record? It's almost like when you have a kid, and you're like, when are you gonna have the next kid?
Right.
It's like, can I just enjoy this for a little bit? And so that is, yeah, it's funny. The fans do, they. And I'm gonna say this in a nice way, but they require a lot more content these days. And it's fun to do, and the videos and all that stuff. Like people really enjoy that stuff.
Well, you always set the bar high, and you're always, exceeding the bar that you've set for the past album. So it's great to hear, and continued success on this album.
Thanks, man.
And life, and congratulations on your new edition when it comes.
Yeah, thank you. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you'll be out trying to make more money, right?
Yeah. It's like baby comes, and then it's probably back out on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when they don't sleep through the night, right?
Yeah, I might actually be. When's it time to go back out?
Is it too soon to go while she's still in the hospital?
Yeah, right. A couple of days after. There was actually something that happened, like a show had happened and came up to us, and it was like right around the time she was due, and I had to be like, I want to do this, but I can't. I just want to keep my marriage.
Yeah. Always a good thing, Kris.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for taking the time
Thanks,
to sit
man.
down with me.